Why did a congressman from Minnesota, from Wisconsin, feel it was important to get into the details and write his own Social Security reform plan?
Well, my original reason for running for Congress, and now this is going to seem quite novel to you three, was the at the time $11.5 trillion national debt, which if you looked at the trajectory at some point, you could project out that we were going to be paying more than $1 trillion a year on interest alone, and then be borrowing money to pay interest. And so I just got weary of going back to my congressional district. And when people would ask me about the debt, I would say things like, well, what Congress should do and what we need to do is this, this, and the other thing. And then it dawned on me that I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't want to be that guy that never offers a solution and instead just talks about the problems because it's good politically. And so if in fact Congress should offer a solution to Social Security and Medicare and other issues surrounding the debt and deficit, then I ought to at least say what my positions are and let the chips fall where they may. But Social Security is the nation's biggest program and one that might be the most important. It's also the easiest one to fix from a mathematical and economic standpoint. It is just arithmetic.
Well, one question on that, because the political dynamics are really something that we want to delve into. But I just, briefly, what were the main provisions of the Save Our Social Security Act?
Yeah, well, when I went into it, I decided that the only way you can have any hope of having a full fix, 100% fix for a 100% problem is how I worded it, would be to have enough things in that both sides would hate. And so I thought, okay, what is it that Republicans and conservatives typically hate? Well, they hate revenue increases, tax increases. So I said, what is the most fair way to adjust the revenue? And it was by resetting the payroll tax at its historic norms of capturing 90% of all payrolls. At the time in 2016, it was capturing about 80%. And so today's worker is actually paying less in Social Security tax than what our parents did and past generations did. And so we needed to address the revenue side, and I got the obligatory reaction from my Republican colleagues. And but then I also said we also need to address reality. And reality is that Americans are not just living longer, they are working longer and they are healthier into older age. And we also need to recognize that there are fewer workers contributing to pay for this current generation of seniors. So we needed to adjust the age. And so I tweak the age up by 2 years over I think it was a 12-year period. And then I also addressed the means testing a bit by saying very wealthy people are earning over 400,000 a year in their retirement. We're going to take that fourth bend point down on the primary insurance and reduce that. I actually added money for the very aged because the data showed that once, particularly a widow would reach age 90, they'd exhausted their personal savings, and some of them were living on $700 or $800 a month. And so we were actually forcing people into poverty that were in the program. And so I adjusted the minimum benefit to 125% of poverty. And then I adjusted the COLA to go to a chain CPI from CPIW. Those things in their collective way back in 2016 would have made Social Security actuarially balanced for 75 years. And so it was a tough lift, though, because I felt like a dog chasing my tail, Bob, because by the time I got something scored, it was already behind. And so I had to overcorrect to fix the problem. And today, these reforms wouldn't go far enough.